Even though feeling confused, humiliated, rejected, disconnected, or even lonely and disappointed are normal reactions to a relationship ending badly, yet they negatively impact our self esteem. It is going to take time, and there is no fixed durations. And also remember to expect the unexpected. You just need to remind yourself that you will find that balance eventually, because that's just a normal state of being. Homeostasis. Your story needs to end. You need to have a narrative inside of your head which works in your favor, and that you deserve somebody who is on the same page as you are. This is going to be a loaded one. So I suggest you get some snacks, get a beverage, and let's talk about the crushing pain of breakups. So whether you were the heartbreaker or the heartbreaky, I know that it hurt and deeply affected you either way. And just FYI, this video is going to be divided into 4 chapters, starting with why the pain, what comes next, how to deal with your reality, and some things to keep in mind. I'll leave the timestamps in the pinned comments so you can skip around as per your requirement. So let's dig in. So, going through a breakup can be incredibly stressful, which makes our brain think that we might be in actual physical danger. The event is registered as a state of emergency, and what ends up happening is that we go into a fight or flight mode, which is also our body's acute stress response. So, the stress hormones are released into the system, which prepare the body to either stay in the situation and fight for survival, or run away from the situation to someplace safer. We get these intense feelings of being breathless. We get rapid heartbeat, we lose our appetite, and some people also experience body pain and soreness. And the stress makes it difficult to fall asleep. And overall, we experience periods of hypervigilance or colorless dullness around us. So, as you have probably gathered by now, that getting your heart broken is not just an isolated emotional response, because our emotions dictate how our body behaves. There is research evidence that suggests how social or emotional rejection impacts our bodies the exact same way actual physical pain would. Now, that's something to think about. Breakups can be traumatic and can cause long lasting grief. It's the loss of a connection. It can feel like losing a limb and still feeling the sensation of a phantom pain when we ruminate and relive all the happy, sad memories when we play back the conversations in our heads. It is inevitable to feel like none of it meant anything because now it's over. There are 5 stages of grief, and in no particular order, one must go through them while dealing with loss as we attempt to process the change that we have been pushed into. These are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. These stages can help us make sense of our new reality while we try to adapt and adjust. Now, it's no secret that breakup can severely impact our sense of self. Most people end up questioning their self-worth based on the negative emotions they had to endure during the process. Even though feeling confused, humiliated, rejected, disconnected, or even lonely and disappointed are normal reactions to a relationship ending badly, yet they negatively impact our self-esteem. And they can still have lingering effects long after the actual event is over. Even though everyone's experience can be different and be very specific to their interpretations of the event, most common experiences include questioning our ability to trust another person ever again. And if that ever happened to you, then I want you to know that trust should not come from another person. Trust comes from inside of us, that no matter what life throws our way, we will be able to handle it. We feel anger and frustration, which are very justified emotions for what we are going through. We experience guilt for causing pain to the person that we love. We experience shame for why is it taking so long for us to get over it, and feeling inadequate because why can't I move on? There are also a lot of people who feel like a breakup is a competition. Well, that might get somebody out of bed, but it's not really a competition. You are on your own journey and someone else is on theirs. A lot of people also isolate themselves in these moments. They engage in overindulgence when it comes to substances, and they look for constant distractions from reality. However, if you are one of those few people who have ended romantic, intimate relationships with people amicably, then what are you even doing here? Now just don't sit there. Tell us how you did it. Your response might just be exactly what someone needs to hear right now. Now, there are no fixed ways to deal with this, but let me give you a few healthy coping options. You need to allow yourself to grieve. Let it take time if it has to. You need to feel all of your feelings without shame and without judgment. You need to let your emotions manifest the way that they want to. The sooner you start the process of feeling your feelings, the sooner it will end. But if you let them sit inside and fester, then it is bound to take you a very long time, and there are bound to be spillovers in other relationships. We don't want that. The next one I call the bad pancake. Now, let me explain. This is more metaphorical. So, it's like when you want to make a pancake, you make the batter, and the first scoop that you put on the pan often turns out to be the bad one because it burns. So, what I mean to say is that don't jump into another relationship without first dealing with all that you have to deal with from the previous one. Because, as I said, there will be spillovers. And you do not want to start a new relationship with a new person carrying all that baggage from your previous one. Don't make a bad pancake. Try to form support systems. Do not isolate yourself. I know the urge will be there, but you have to understand that you cannot do this all by yourself. It is always good to have people, friends, and family around who love you and who genuinely care for your well being. So let them in. This will also help you with your lost self esteem, because when you see other people caring for you, you will start to believe that there is nothing wrong with you and that you can trust other people. Keeping the previous point in mind, there is a note card method. So while you are mentally, emotionally, and physically in the eye of the storm, it can be very difficult to express or even remember what we actually need. And people who love you and care about you would want to help you out, but they might not necessarily know what you actually need in the moment. So lead with your needs. How the note card method works is you have to sit down and make a list of whatever you need, including what you want in terms of tangible and also emotional support. This could involve practical stuff like cooking, getting groceries, or talking to somebody at length about how you feel, etc. etc. So get a stack of cue cards and write down one item per card. And when people ask you how they can help, hand them a card or have them choose something they feel that they can do for you. This would relieve the pressure to articulate your needs on the spot when someone asks. Seek professional help if you do not think there is anybody in your circle who can help you or provide you with that kind of emotional support or psychological support, because you need to talk it out. You need to get all of that out of your system. And the next best thing you can do is write about it. So keep a journal or use your phone to write about how you feel. Anytime intense emotions start building up or you get an epiphany about whatever is happening in your life currently, just jot it down, get it out. The next thing you can do is find or create your own closure. If you still have any kind of relation with your ex, then you can talk to them and you can ask them any question that you might be having regarding the breakup or the relationship in your mind. Or if you do not have that kind of access, then you need to create your own closure. Your story needs to end. You need to have a narrative inside of your head which works in your favor so that you can finally put the whole thing to rest. For example, if your partner just left without an explanation or gave you some vague explanation that just does not track, it does not make sense, and now you do not have access to them to actually find out what happened. So you can create your own closure by telling yourself that they were just not ready for a serious commitment, or they were just not as serious as you were about the relationship, and that you deserve somebody who is on the same page as you are. And the best thing that you can do for yourself, which is contrary to popular opinion, is that you need to reach a place of forgiveness. Because when we understand that people are not perfect, even if we idolize them and even if we look past all the red flags and the flaws that we could potentially see in them if we were looking for it, then we will realize that people are flawed and they make mistakes and they repeat their mistakes and they fail to see lessons in experiences, and that's okay. So you need to find a place to forgive them so that you can finally let the situation rest and stop investing your emotions and your thoughts and your energies into it. There is another person you need to forgive, and that is yourself, for all the mistakes that you made, for all the things that you ignored or avoided or enabled. It's okay. Forgive yourself and learn from it, because no matter who comes and goes from your life, you are going to be the only constant for yourself. So forgiveness is a good place to build some compassion and some self-love. So there are some things that you still need to keep in mind. It is going to take time, and there is no fixed duration or a definitive timeline that you can adhere to. Just allow yourself to take as long as you need to find balance again. You just need to remind yourself that you will find that balance eventually, because that's just a normal state of being, homeostasis. And also remember to expect the unexpected. You will have periods of relief and joy, but some days might be a little difficult. You might be taken over by uncontrolled emotions of sadness and guilt. It's all part of the process. Just try not to judge yourself too harshly because of it. And if you want to learn how to fall back in love with yourself, then this next video will help big time. And I will see you in the next one.